Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Kishore Patel. Kishore Patel is the founder and president of CyberSWIFT, an information technology company that focuses on the power of location intelligence and GIS to help solve complex problems in a way that is most effective for the people that are impacted by it. With an MBA and over 20 years of industry experience, he has strived to focus on providing solutions using technology to solve people's problems and help improve lives. Well, good afternoon, Kishore. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Brian. It's good to be on your show.
Thank you very much, Kishore. I'm excited. You've got quite a career, and I know we've chatted before this podcast, and it's just amazing what you've done in your career. And we want to jump into that, right? Your career's in technology. You're a board member, you're a consultant, and also the president of CyberSWIFT. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspired you?
Thank you, Brian, for this question, and thanks again for having me. It's been a long journey, but the good thing about that journey has been that it has given me opportunity to see life from various different aspects, starting from being feet on the ground or hands on the keyboard from the technology perspective, being a developer, and starting from that point onwards. In terms of, what inspires me is to move forward, not just for me, but for the people I'm working with, so that, we all can move forward. Everybody, including myself and people around me, get an opportunity and potential opportunity and situation to move forward and achieve something as everybody collectively move forward. In terms of, secrets, I don't have many major secrets. It's been mostly fundamental things which I have tried to stay on. One of the things is having a good team I can depend on, and at the same time, a team who can depend on me. Again, it sounds pretty basic, but that I have seen matters a lot, because people do the best work when they feel motivated to do the work, and that happens when they are in a comfort zone, when they can depend on one another, and so on. This not only applies to people who are team members from our side as solution providers, but also the same thing applies in a very important way with clients. Clients want to work with people who they can depend on, or vendors who they can depend on. I can tell you for sure that any journey has its own up and down. I have been with clients where we have made mistakes, things have not gone right, but it is how you handle it which matters. And my client knows that if we are handling it, then it will see the end of the day in a manner which will be geared towards the best outcome and the best optimal outcome. So these are the factors, I think, which has been instrumental.
Great. Kishore, I appreciate you sharing that. I really want to jump in and hear your thoughts. As you know, everybody globally has had to make major shifts to adapt to this new normal in the pandemic. Could you share with us what you're doing to help your company stay relevant in this economy?
We all know COVID has been an immense challenge to all of us as individuals, as family members, as communities, and part of corporate society. Like everybody else, we have been impacted significantly as well. Luckily, we have been in an industry, which is the tech industry, which had better outcome than some of the other industries. I often have people ask me, hey, how are things? And my response is what I always feel, that, hey, we could not be luckier than where we are, just because we are being in where we are in terms of the industry, in terms of the scenario, there is nothing to complain about. Having said that, we have been impacted as well, and it has required changes at our end. We have shifted to, like other tech companies and other companies, service-based industries in particular, we have shifted more to remote work. So that has worked well. But among our operations that we have, not everything could be moved to remote outcome. We have projects which involve field work, etc. And those have been impacted harder than other scenarios. And for those scenarios, we have kind of worked with our team members and clients, and particularly with our team members, that to provide flexibility such that we don't have to cut pay packages, but be flexible in a manner where we are there for them in the current times, challenging COVID times, but down the road, when things become normalized, they can ramp up some of their effort to meet the demand, because we all believe that there will be greater demand to compensate for the void which COVID has created. So with this understanding among the team members, it has worked well. We haven't had to let go people particularly in a significant way, and with this flexibility, it has worked well, and things have been improving since few months.
Thank you for sharing, Kishore. Kishore, are you looking at leveraging any new or emerging technologies within your space, or even just a new tool or app that you find might be useful for our audience?
Well, it's interesting you asked this, but yes, certainly. We are in a technology business, but even within the technology business, we specialize in geospatial or geographic information system, or sometimes called GIS. Basically, it is the study and dealing with information where location of something is also part of that equation. So that's the fundamental of what GIS is. And in this space, what we are realizing that with the advent of artificial intelligence and machine learning, it is having significant impact on how GIS-based solutions and applications can be provided to clients. GIS has always had a practical impact and practical application on people's lives. You know, it's more of an application area, or more of an area which people may feel the benefits or impact of. And so with advent of AI, there is a field and term which is known as GeoAI, which is culmination of artificial intelligence and location, or GIS. And we have been playing around with it and doing applications and providing solutions to clients to kind of help our clients leverage this. So that's an area which we have been looking for some time. And of course, there are many tools which allow this. There are commercial and open source tools, but in terms of an area, this has been something which has been meaningful from our end.
Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate the insight around GIS and the technologies, especially with the advent of integrating that machine learning. So Kishore, last question. Can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in technology?
Certainly. I'm glad you asked this question, and I would love to share my 2 cents in this regard. So one of the things which we all feel, and which I also get in the circle of, I get lost sometimes, is trying to do too much. It is my strong belief that one thing which we all should keep in mind, even whether we are an individual, a professional entrepreneur, or somebody who is helping manage a company move forward, it really helps to be a specialist in something. So for example, we are a technology company, but we have become specialists in GIS and geospatial domains. In the industry, we have tried to be specialists in certain industries, healthcare being one, for example, etc. So the same applies for an individual, where as an individual, if you focus on something more than others, such that you can claim to be a specialist in that area, that will help a lot. You know, and then again, the same thing applies in an enterprise scenario also. It's like a comparison between a shotgun approach or a rifle approach, where are you focusing on too many things, or are you focusing on too few things, but with a greater focus? And then that's one aspect of it. And then the other is, I talked about teamwork some time back, and while running the company, I feel that within the teamwork, what matters more is that the team members that one has. It's more important to ensure that your team members have the same mindset as compared to necessarily having a certain know-how. Because if the mindset and the motivation is there, people can figure out how to do things. But if they know something but they don't have the mindset and the motivation, then they may not be able to leverage what they know. There's a great book, a very well-known book called Good to Great by Jim Collins. It's a business book. The writer talks about this one scenario where he talks about being on the bus or off the bus, where it is in a company scenario where team members are on the bus if they meet certain criteria, And that criteria involves more of a mindset scenario and the culture scenario as compared to specific know-how or specific knowledge base. So these are a few of the things which I just like to share, and hopefully your listeners find this helpful.
Absolutely, Kishore. I appreciate the insights on that, your experience in the technology and entrepreneurship world. And I know that this will resonate with a lot of the readers here and listeners on this podcast. So thank you very much. And Kishore, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you for having me today. And it was a pleasure. Thanks a lot, and thank you so much.
Bye for now.